Introduce me to this woman sitting next to you holding your hand.
Brother Kevin, this is Francie Frane, soon to be Francie Chapman. and the last interview we did was a long time ago, not long, but a few months. And you said, do you think that losing your wife is going to help you, dog, help other people that have went through this? And I said, yes. By the way, Kevin, I talked to a lady before I got here. She had lost her husband. The wife just lost the husband like 2 months ago. Out of nowhere, died. So, wow, I'm thinking, I need to meet with her, tomorrow before this. Right? Well, Kevin, meet Francie.
Nice to meet you.
Her.
So nice to meet you. Okay, so you talk to this guy. He gives you advice.
And I didn't know who he was.
No?
No.
You had no idea?
No.
So when did you meet after that? You guys talk, but then what happens?
We talked first. She goes, hi, is Doug there? Because I left a message on her husband's phone.
How we initially met was you leaving a message for Bob.
Right. I left a message for Bob, said, this is Dog Chapman. I want to talk. So when she called, she's like, is Doug there? And I go, yeah, what? Who's this? You left a message because Carlos left. Oh, yes, ma'am. I said, I need to talk to Bob. And then she took a deep breath and said, Bob is no longer here. Well, at a meeting with Holy Ghost people 6 months before, this lady walked up and said, oh my God, Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife, Beth, just passed away. And she's like, who's Dog the Bounty Hunter? Here he is. She goes, he needs a haircut. And she goes,
People have been giving me such a hard time about that. I don't think he needs a haircut. I just didn't know who he was then.
So she says, Francie, you're going to meet this guy. Now, she's in Arizona. I'm in Hawaii.
It was 2 days after Beth had passed away that my friend had saw on YouTube that Beth had passed away from throat cancer. I didn't know who they were. And she told me that she really felt like we were supposed to meet and that we were going to meet each other. And so I told her, you're nuts.
So when I called and she said, Doug, then she said...
That was 6 months later.
Yeah,
6 months later.
Yeah, she passed, Beth passed, Bob passed. And as we hung up, I go, excuse me, ma'am, by the way, I'm not Doug. This is Dog the Bounty Hunter. And all of a sudden, like for a minute, and I finally had to go, hello? And she's like, hi. And I had no idea, hung up, come to see you.
So I all of that's running through my mind, what happened in Arizona, and it was 6 months later. And I was pretty taken back by all of it. As soon as I hung up the phone with him, I called my girlfriend and I was like, okay, are you sitting down right now? Because you're not going to believe who I just talked to. So she was screaming, I told you. So it was 6 months after that we actually talked again when you asked him that question.
Yeah.
And
her other friend saw an interview with me and you at 4:30 in the morning, and she goes, Francie, my God, go to 4 minutes and 45 seconds. He says your name. So she goes on there, and you and I are talking, and I go, I just talked to this girl named Fran. It's really Francie, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, my God. So then we made another connection, and I asked her for dinner, and it didn't happen.
So I kept telling him, I'll come and meet you, but this is not a date.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
No.
I will meet you, but
Yes.
don't get it twisted. This
Exactly.
is not a date.
This is not a date. So we made this friendship started because we get what the other one's was going through, is still going through. We're both still grieving. We're never going to leave Bob and Beth behind, forget about them. They'll always be a part of us. We thought we were going to spend our lives with them, the rest of our lives with them.
Yeah.
And that's not what happened. And we were dealt a really hard hand. And I think both of us had a decision to make. Are we going to rise up from the ashes of where we are and get back to life and what Beth and Bob would have wanted for us? And then God does this amazing thing. There's no way in a million years we would have met each other through any other circumstances.
I want to ask you, because when I went to visit Dog in Colorado, he was hurting.
Yeah.
How did you help him get through this time period?
I think the biggest part is that we understood the pain that the other one was feeling, and those tough days and moments, we helped each other stand up, and we could cry with each other and talk about what we were feeling at that moment, the thing that we were missing, what we wouldn't have with them anymore. And we were able to walk alongside of each other through the pain and the heartbreak that we were experiencing, and it brought us together in this amazing way.
If you could say something to Bob about this man that you met, what would you say to him?
I know with all my heart that Bob would approve of who Duane is as a man. And the first time that I knew that I loved him, he was standing in my garage. He's trying to quit smoking. He's doing a really good job.
Thank you.
And it was like 20 degrees outside. And that night when he got home, he called me and he said, when I was in your garage, I told Bob that I promised I would always be so respectful to you, and I would treat you
Like a gentleman.
like a gentleman, and I would always take care of you. And I knew at that moment that he had my heart. And I know that that's what Bob would want for the person that I'm going to be with. And he is all of those things and more.
That is beautiful. And
Thank you.
what would you say to Bethy about Francie?
If a man like Francie walked up to Beth and I love you and I'll love you forever, and was a good Christian, talks to God every day, all day, she reads the Bible, all this, that, I would walk away to this day, say, Beth, you go with him, because you're going to go to heaven. Be sure you go. So I know she would be so upset if I got some people been through what I've been through. So she would say, okay, that's good. Stay right there.
All right, I see that beautiful ring. Tell me about the
Yes.
engagement, because you set everything up, didn't you? You had a whole...
Well, it's not my first rodeo. No. David in the Bible was married 8 times.
This is your last time.
This is the last time.
This is your last time.
Yeah, you buy 2. My Gary boy said, Dad, how come the girl gets 2 rings? So after the wedding, then she has another one. So
How did you propose? Tell me about the proposal.
I got down on one knee and said, Francie Frane, will you marry me? And I said, I'm saying it. So I said, listen, when I get down, then I want you to get down too on your knee and help me back up. Right? Like I'm getting down, so are you, Mama. And so I got down and she's like standing there.
I was crying and nervous.
And she didn't even pull me back up. I had to limp up.
That's
Right.
not true. You're exaggerating.
Whatever.
He did a great job, and it was really romantic.
Well, how's your family? Because you just got engaged to Dog the Bounty Hunter. So what was the reaction of your family?
So I didn't tell anyone that we were seeing each other. I wouldn't go anywhere in public with him. So there's a couple of restaurants in the town he lives in that know him really well. And so I know that there's not pictures and people and all this. So I would only go to those 2 places and meet him, because I didn't want anyone to see me in public or be splattered all over some tabloid. And I kept
Easy now, they're my friends, honey.
I kept telling him, like, I just don't think I fit in your world. Like, I'm from this small town in Colorado. It's a cowboy town, a horse town, and I just don't think I fit in your world. I don't know how this is going to work. And the more time I spent with him, and he's amazing.
The
And
more
he's
of the Lone
wonderful.
Ranger I became.
Yeah. So when my son, I called my daughter-in-law and I said, I really want you guys to meet someone. And she goes, okay, this doesn't sound good. And I said, no, it's really good. I'm not going to tell you anything. I just want you to come meet somebody that's in my life. And So then she called me and she said, "You have to tell me. I can't wait." And so I said to her, "So I'm dating Dog the Bounty Hunter." She starts screaming on the phone, "You're lying. That's not true." So my son, I sent her a picture of the two of us, and then she showed it to my son, and he said, "You guys aren't funny." Like, he thinks it's this photoshopped,
Right.
"You guys aren't funny." So I had them come over to the house, and then he shows up at the door. And I think my son sat there for like 5 minutes and he couldn't even say a word because he was shell-shocked. And now they love him. My grandson calls him Grandpa Dog already. And so he's 8, and we went to his school last week and picked him up from school, and that was like the coolest thing ever. So they love him.
Will you tell me about the vines on your hands?
Oh, so I got mine first.
Oh,
Sorry.
and
I got
copied
mine
it.
first, and it's really about redemption and new life and standing back up in a place where you were in the hardest place of your life and you don't know how you're going to do that, and you do. And it's about growth and living again and new life. And so
And mine has
then
thorns and hers
he
doesn't.
got-
Mine's a
yeah.
male one.
But you two really have put each other back together. You were a little broken,
Yeah.
and you put each other back together.
Yeah, and we've built this, we have this amazing friendship also.
Yeah, I like her.
I like him. Like,
Oh,
I like who he is. I love being with him and hanging out with him. We laugh a lot. We talk about everything. And on those days where those memories come up or something triggers a prick in your heart, we cry together and we talk about it, and we've walked through all of this together and have built this amazing friendship and found love in the middle of it.
Do you realize how lucky you are?
oh no.
Do you? I mean, seriously, I'm being dead serious with you.
Man.
I've seen you. Do you realize how lucky you are to have this woman?
Yes, sir, and I appreciate you because I love you for you saying that.
Thank you
And
so much.
And
I'm just as lucky.
And every time I look at her, when I put those guys in the back of the car and I go, "Listen, let's start over, okay? Let's start." I didn't get paid extra for that. Let's ask God, whatever religion you are, to forgive you for the path you're on now and follow me, brother. I'll show you the way. You just follow after Uncle Dog's footsteps. I was there. And I went to the Lord and said, "Listen, I was doing this for you, not for money." That some people didn't like me because he threw his pearls before the swine. I'm like, "I did it for you. I need something. You give Adam a woman? What the heck, God? Where's mine?" And Francie. So when I look at her, yeah, I think that's what you got for thinking of. The Bible says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. My brothers and sisters are last but first in line. Really? A lot of 42
Even-
years in February.
When I first met him and my girlfriend gave me that word, and then I talked to him on the phone, and I hadn't told anybody that I talked to him. It was like a handful of women that are close to me. And the one that saw you ask him that question, she lost her husband 5 months after I lost Bob, and I'd been walking alongside her through it. And she's the one that called me at 5 in the morning and said, "You're not going to believe this. Like, he's on the news talking about you." And I
4 minutes and
never,
49
yeah,
seconds.
she said, "I'm watching Bethel Music at 2:30 this morning, and a Dog the Bounty Hunter interview pops on my phone. I thought that was so weird because I don't watch him. And so I watch it." And she goes, "Go to 4 minutes and 45 seconds and watch from there. And then you ask him that question." And even then, I really thought, okay, God, are you going to use me to help him stand back up? And like, I've been crying out to you ever since the day that I lost Bob, telling you, either take me home or use me in a way that I never dreamed possible, that I can make a difference in this world in the time that I have left. So I thought that it was about that, not about us finding this amazing friendship and love that we never thought that we would find again after we lost them.